careful.
Oh,
whoa, my God, that's horrible.
That's slippery.
Wow. It's not what you want when you have deliveries. Oh, that's a proper downpour. Okay, right. Well, this is exciting, isn't it? Excuse me, sore throat. All of this eventually is going to turn into a pile of zero, hopefully, because all of that steel is going to go up on here. Let me run you guys through what we are going to do. At the moment, you can see those are the spaces for the 4 dormers. They're not very high up, and you would have to crouch down to kind of get underneath them, and yeah, it wouldn't be that fun. So what we're going to do is we are going to cut the tube that sits between these dormers. You probably can't see that one. It's quite visible there, and it's quite visible there. So once we've cut those tubes back, we are going to install some of this 100 by 50 by 5, and we're going to connect the curve rafters from one end to the next here, and then weld them all together, and then increase the 2 small curves that form the dormer, all out of this stuff here. Hopefully it's all going to go to plan. And what we're going to end up with is 4 dormers where you'll be able to walk into the dormers without actually kind of hitting your head on anything, which would be absolutely brilliant. The rest of the steel here is for a few other bits and bobs. So this 50 by 50 by 5, we are going to put more of those across all the way through, and at the moment the ones that are through here are spaced at 1.2 meters, so we're going to space them at 600 millimeter centers. That's just going to add a bit more rigidity. And then finally, or not finally, with the other 2 things, these ones here, they are going to be supports that are going to sit underneath each of the curves right along the ridge. There's a bit of an issue at the moment with the ridge being over where the actual wall is at the back, so that's just to basically supply a bit of support to the whole thing. And then finally there's going to be a couple of cross braces on each corner, and that will stop any racking in the roof. So all in all, quite a bit of work. So tomorrow morning, a very nice chap called Ross is coming from RV Welding. They're based in near Veer in Normandy, yeah, so he's going to come. You'll see him soon, or almost straight away probably, and we are going to spend the next 2-3 weeks, maybe 4, hopefully 3, working on this roof. And yeah, we're going to get it all tarted up. It's going to be quite nice. It's going to be lovely, in fact. The curved roof panels, they are going to be ordered today, I hope. My gosh, it's been a proper saga in trying to get those ordered. I'll take you upstairs right now, actually, and show you what we've been doing. Rightio, okay, let me move this out the way. So, in order to find out the curve, we were asked by the manufacturers to give a series of measurements. So, number one is the height, and then the width, and with the height and the width, a squared times b squared equals the hypotenuse, c squared, that comes down there. Then, on a 45-degree angle from the base, we need to then take a measurement up to the hypotenuse here, and then the final measurement that goes up to here, and that final measurement is what will basically dictate the curve all the way around. So yes, I had tried doing this with laser pointers and things like that, but yeah, it wasn't too successful. We're getting very, very wildly different results each time. So with this, I think we are in business. So as you can see, hopefully you can see, we drilled a hole right underneath the tube right there, and then we used a plumb line to make that pencil line there. Then we used this on here like that to ensure that it's at a 45-degree angle, and then finally we made sure that the line was right in the center here. So with that information, I would say we are within a couple of millimeters of getting it absolutely spot on, or maybe we even got it spot on. Yeah, I'm not sure. Anyway, with that information, we could then give the manufacturers the internal measurements up until here, and then we've asked them to allow an additional 130 millimeters from the underside of there to the top of there. So hopefully today they're going to come back to us with the final revision of the plans that they've sent to us already. It's a little bit more complicated because the roof sheet will start here, it'll run all the way down here, and then over there, just like they were originally. So the roof sheet will end around about 2 to 250 millimeters lower than the top of this wall plate here. I hope you guys can hear me. The river is absolutely raging at the minute. We've had so much rain in the last couple of days. Yeah, it's been emotional, and looks like we had a storm, and it looks like there's another storm coming. So there we go. I hope I haven't waffled on too much. That's probably too much for the casuals that don't watch too often. But for you guys that watch often, this is very exciting, all of this. Well, it's very exciting for me. Yeah, the thought of having this place back in the dry is very exciting. Very, very exciting for me. Yeah, and the bad news is it's going to take 7 weeks from the date of order. Hopefully that's today. For us to take delivery of the sheets, and I've ordered one additional sheet. So the gable ends here are going to have metal sheeting running all the way up into them, and so what we're going to do is we're going to take those metal sheets and we're going to lay them out over here on the grass, and then we're going to take hopefully what is our spare curved roof sheet and lay it across the top, and then that's going to allow us to basically scribe that curvature straight on there. This is all dependent on all of this being exact, so there might be some adjustments to be made. Okay, right. This has definitely been like a saga of a chat with you guys, so yeah, I think I might put those lights up and let me introduce you to Ross. Hello, mate. How are you?
Good journey.
Happy New Year. Cup of tea?
Yeah, start with a cup of tea and then a plan.
Good morning, everybody. I got a special guest. It's kind of like me from the future in beard colours. This is Ross from RV Welding. Here you go.
Morning.
That is his Land Rover. If you see it in Normandy, that's Ross. Good morning, Ross.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. On this damp Normandy day.
Yeah, Ross had to drive through snow to get here. So, yeah, the joys of working in winter time. Stay in school, kids. Really, properly, stay in school. Like, you could be in an office.
Get an
right now.
education.
Yeah, get an education. And then find out after 5 years working in an office that it's boring and it's much better to be out here, right? Maybe.
Maybe not.
Anyway, I digress. We are here to basically do a whole bunch of work on the steel roof, which is going to necessitate us taking that pile of steel right next to Ross's Land Rover and cutting it up, adding heat in all the right places, and yeah, that's what we're going to do. Do you have anything you want to say to these guys, Ross?
It's damp, it's cold, but we'll get it done.
Okay, everybody, we're going to take a string line. From this point, we're going to run it all the way down through to the end, and we are going to see whether this roof is straight, or I guess in boat building terms, fair. It's got a straight enough line. It doesn't matter too much if it's level, really. It's just it needs to all be on the same plane. What we don't want is these poles to be undulating like that. We've got 9 poles, yeah?
Yeah.
So I've gone 80 millimeters off of the flange over there and 80 millimeters off of the flange over here. So the first set of measurements I do is just to see if we've got 80, like the flanges are straight to themselves. Yes, this isn't this way, this is this way. Yeah.
Open the framing without the windows in it, so distorted, yeah.
Oh, without the glass in it?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that'd be easy to get out. Just foam.
Up there,
So, yeah.
Oh.
Spent about 3 hours
Without hurting the frame,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Nice. It's got to be loose now. You know, I've got standing.
Surely this is it now.
Hacksaw blade, like, oh, it's got to be loose now. No. The last minuscule bit of foam, and it's like laughing at you.
There we go. That one's
That was on the thing. That's
that one's
sound.
on the pad.
Yeah.
So that one's all good.
Which, to be fair, are the structural ones. That was only a dormer one anyway.
How can we? Because I've got my 300mm disc cutter, petrol cutter. It might be enough to reach.
I've got a big angle grinder in there that takes the big discs.
Cut through.
Just lay it, stand on the scaffold and lay it on flat and just cut them flat, you know.
Yeah, it'll be good for here, but that one's going to be a bastard. So
yeah,
it's too far. But yeah, for all the others, if the scaffolding comes back round,
yeah,
we should be
I
golden.
think we should be alright.
Yep.
So what we need to do is we need to cut link 3 now, because that's our length, isn't it?
Yep. Well, here's the thing. Look, there's nothing for this to. No, it's going to sit on here.
Sit on there.
But I am literally going to have to try and pull all this out and brick up underneath.
The original thought was to set it on the ply, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Which we can still do, and then we can run. So we can run a leg down to the RSJ.
Yeah.
So we can put a piece of angle iron on the back of the box down to that. Feel it needs welded to the top of the RSJ. Obviously, once you get to there, the RSJ starts again there, doesn't it? So there'll be a little bit of unsupported.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is going to be an issue, to be fair, because there's no load on that.
No, hang on. Where are you going to go? Here?
Yeah. The bottom is very attachy, isn't it?
Oh, okay, right.
Moving the pillar, isn't it?
Now that we know what we're doing, do we know what we're doing?
We have no idea what we're doing.
That's a fib. We do actually. We do.
We have a plan.
We have a plan. Okay, come on YouTube, come with me. I'm going to show you. I'm not quite sure how much was captured because we looked up and this camera had been knocked out of position. But we took the big petrol cutter and cut underneath here to loosen the foot of this tube here. So what we are dealing with is this. At the far end, all the way up to this end, we are out of level by 68 millimeters. So what we are trying to achieve is to lift that far end one by 68 mil, and we think it's about 9 millimeter increments all the way down. It might be a bit more, it might be a little bit less. So how do we find how high we need to bring it? We are going to measure to the center of the floor, just about there, and we are going to put a laser level in the center here. Then we will be able to measure off of the top of our floor, which is underneath all this grim stuff. The floor I put in a few months ago, that is actually within 1 or 2 millimeters of being dead level. Yay me. Then we will be able to we'll be able to cut the bottom underneath the base plate, the pins, and release each individual pole and jack it up, shim underneath it, and then we can put a couple of bits of brick or whatever. We will cement them back in so they're in their new position, and so each one as we go along should come up to the same height. That's the plan, isn't it?
That is the plan.
There we go.
It sounds so easy.
So easy. It's like 10 minutes work. Right. Okay, right, let's get on with it. Is that what it was? I guess it's just nylon, right? Here we go, folks. There's our plumb line. Transmitter to backup files and format. Okay, it doesn't matter. Like, go away.
Don't need that.
Right, it's recording. Technology's hard sometimes, eh? Good morning, everybody. It's a bit of a chilly-willy situation today. It's a Saturday. We managed to get 1 day in last week for rain and snow reasons and stuff like that. But we are here today, and I'm going to let Ross tell you guys what we are going to do right now.
Right, what we're going to do right now is we're going to do some measuring.
I'll put him on the spot. It's okay. Yeah. Right. So what we need to do, we need to determine whether this arc here, which we are calling number 1, and the one right at the end, which we're calling number 9, because there are 9 of them, we need to try and figure out whether the differential that we have, which is 76 millimeters in height between the bottom of that to number 9 over there, we need to find out whether when they built this, they built it and it was out of level, or if it's moved over time. So in order to do that, what we are going to do is we're going to take a long tape measure, and we're going to measure from the top point there, and we're going to measure to the ply here. We're going to repeat that measurement at the far end on number 9. If we have the same measurement, then we know that we need to leave things alone, essentially. If we have a different measurement, then we know that we need to bring this one up, the difference, which is 76 millimeters. So in effect, if we were to bring this up 76 millimeters, we should then have the same length from the top of the ply to the top of the flange there as that we have with number 9, and number 9 is going to be our datum. And then once we do that, we can then go through and move each of these ones up so they all correspond with the same as these two. One other thing to show you is this line here. Now this line is a center line that corresponds to the ridge here, all the way down. So this line is our most important line. This is everything that we calculate, we're going to use off of this datum line. Yes, exactly what you said. And we're going to do it without slipping over, and we're going to do it without freezing to death. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I'm going to set an alarm on my phone. If it goes below 5, we're going to have to just have a big hug. Right, let's get on and do it. I'm going to put you guys down over here, so you guys can watch the action. Right, I'm going to pull nice and tight then.
I'm down, so yeah, you pull away. Yeah, okay.
I have got 6, 2, 2, 2.
6 treble 2, yeah?
6 all the Desmonds, and then plus the 52, yeah?
Plus the 52, yeah?
Plus 52. So what's our total?
So 6272 is our total.
Yeah.
6222 was before you added the 50 on it.
6272. Yeah. 6272. Okay. Good luck, everybody. I really hope this is like all we need to do is lift them up. Like, well, I guess if it's because they're still out like that, aren't they? They're still fishing around. So it would be good if we can just lift each one up the right amount and
then we'll know.
Do the thing. I guess we're going to have to repeat this measurement when we do lift it up, and then if it's changed it massively, then
what
we've got to
we'll
make
do
a
is
decision.
once we know that 1 and 9 are the same, we can then come off the back, mark a place, and then drop straight down. So we can lift every one of them to that. Okay. So we haven't got to do this all the time. Yeah. Every time. That's it. He's very good in front of the camera, isn't he? Have you noticed, everybody? Like, it took me months to kind of get comfortable, and Ross is just like, yeah, I do this all the time, mate. Have you got a secret YouTube channel we don't know about? Ross, have you got an OnlyFans? Now, something we're not going to talk about. That would be telling, wouldn't it? Right.
Where did you go? Did you go down to the bottom plate on that one?
No, I went to the ply, which is...
So we need to put a level across there and hold it to the underside of the level then.
Okay, yeah. Is that straight?
Is it stuck?
Is that straight or just stuck to the floor?
6305.
Oh, 6305, yeah.
So we've got...
What's the difference?
30 millimeters different. But the problem is that we're genuinely not like comparing apples to apples, because I think this is going to make a big difference. So I guess the only thing to do is get a socket set out and actually like get rid of these. So
just out of interest, have you ever put a spirit level on the top of that, on the angle line?
we can do that. No, it's running uphill that much.
So it does suggest that that one is lower then, doesn't it?
We're going to have to do something with these anyway.
Yeah.
So we might as well take these off.
Well, they've got to come off, haven't they?
Yeah, they've got to come off.
They're not staying on there forever, so...
Oh, it's so icy. It's nice and sketchy. I love it.
Yeah.
My favourite thing in the world. Woo.
That's it. Just a bit of tension coming out of the ladder there.
You know what we call that? When that happens, it's a 50p, 5p moment. When your bum goes like that. 6305.
Oh, that's made all the difference, hasn't it?
It's exactly the same, right?
Yeah.
Is that on the underside of the level? It is, isn't it?
If I was being really pernicious, I could get it there.
6310. 6312, I guess.
Right, I measured underneath that angle line to the floor, very roughly.
Yeah.
That one up there is about 240. This one is about 30 centimetres taller.
Right.
So this is higher than that one down there. I'm wondering...
By 30 centimetres.
About 30 centimetres, yeah.
Which is what it's showing then, isn't it?
Yeah. We need to get these two the same, don't we? Do we know that the height of the two heads is the same? Because if that's different, then we are different all over, aren't we?
Yeah, we can do that.
If the two heads are the same height, 1 and 9.
You just want me to go back up there, don't you? Fine, off I go. Right, 3373. 3226. That's 150 millimeters. Wow, that's a lot, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
That really, really is a lot.
So if you put the spirit level, just for argument's sake, if you put the spirit level on that angle line, then we should be dropping like we were up that end, don't we? We were dropping considerably that end, we should be dropping this end as well.
Yeah, it's going downhill.
Substantially, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Like over half a metre, it's 10 mil.
Yeah.
Something like that. So.
Okay.
So over, these are 2.5 metres, that would be an inch, 25 millimetres.
Yeah.
So.
Which we're dropping 6 inches, aren't we? Right, so we need to undo that end. We need to lift this entire tube up and get that measurement there, exactly the same as that measurement there, don't we?
So what we're going to be trying to do is to get the ridge to line up with our line here. So this is sacrosanct, this one.
Yeah.
Yeah? Whoa, my God, that's horrible.
That's slippery.
Yeah, it shouldn't go anywhere, right?
No, only downwards.
Right, you ready?
Yeah.
4020.
What we've got?
What's that last 4020.
Right, okay, so we can assume that all of these are the same length.
So, really then, it is within our power to try and...
to make it right.
Make it right then, yeah?
Yes. And then we can measure the others as we go. If we find we've got a massive discrepancy somewhere, we'll just measure it, and if it's 4020, then we know the discrepancy is elsewhere. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice, they're all frozen together. Yeah, that's off. Cool.
All right. So, and then acro prop now then. Right, don't lean on that now. Let's literally do that so no one grabs hold of it thinking, hey, I'll just hold on to that. And then we will go home to our ladies tonight. Oh, that was lucky.
Just knock the ladder out.
There we go. Right, so that screw that's in there is the centre of the plumb line.
Right.
Okay, here we go, guys. We have managed to get this curve to be exactly the same height as number 9. So that one right at the far end. So from the floor to the underside of there, we're exactly to the millimetre. It's the same height. Now, what that will allow us to do is we are going to cut some steel. We've got this little 50 by 50 by 5, so it's quite strong, and we are going to put a plate on the bottom of that steel, that tube, and it's going to go and it's going to be welded up underneath here. And what that will then allow us to do is to make another 7 exactly the same length, and then we will be able to install each of them directly underneath here, and we will have them referenced off of the back of the joist here. And so each time we go to move anything, we can plumb this up here into plumb, and that's going to allow us to repeat this all the way down through. So we will end up with each pole being the same height, plus minus literally just a couple of millimetre. And when these are plumbed in, we will then have a piece of steel welded to the plumb steel here with 2 brackets in here, and we will fix in 2 places. So up here somewhere, and down there somewhere, and down into the actual joist. And that will create essentially like an unmovable reference wall that we can then do all of our calculations off of that. It's going to be very, very helpful. We're no longer going to be twisting in the wind with lines that could move and stuff like that. We are really, really going to have something that's going to allow us to be very, very accurate. So once we do have this wall in here, from this flange down to this point here, we've measured them. They're all identical. So once we've got this height exactly the same here, we can then measure from the bottom of the flange to the floor, and we can adjust all of those heights to be the same height all the way through. But also we can reference this point in the flange here to the plumbed steel post here. So if any of these curves have slightly changed over the years, we should be able to use ratchets and adjust them just that final little bit. That's the plan anyway. So it's taken 2 days basically for us to come up with a plan, but that's definitely worth it. It's worth spending a really good amount of time really kind of getting to understand what we're trying to achieve here. And repeatable cuts and measurements are always good for that. So you will hopefully end up with a plus minus 5mm tolerance throughout a roof. And the roof sheets themselves will absolutely be able to kind of move over that sort of dimensional difference. Right, so I have put a timber chock up on the scaffolding up there to brace the scaffolding to the wall. Now I'm going to put a ratchet strap around the top flange there and attach it to the scaffolding here, and we are going to ratchet this whole thing back over so the laser line, which you can't actually see, it's behind that acro prop, will sit directly underneath there. So essentially that's where the pipe's going to go, and then we can take that measurement, and then all of our tubes will then be cut to that same measurement.
It's obviously the laser's obviously coming through this gap.
Yeah. Well, whatever we do, as long as we make the poles the same, if we have something the right thickness that we can just pop in behind here, like a shim, tack it, take it out, repeatable all the way through then.
So if the back of the box is sitting this side, like on the line, so the box...
that would be the centre.
The centre, okay, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so...
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's fine, yeah. And the centre is the centre down there, isn't it? So that's perfect, isn't it?
That's centre to centre, yeah?
Yeah.
And that is 3350.
Yeah.
Centre of laser line.
But if you can pass me the bottle, I can sort of wedge that up here. Lovely.
Okay, it's time to go home. Saturday evening. It's been a lovely day. It's been nice and sunny. What do you reckon, bud?
The moon's out. It's time to go home.
It is. It's time to go home. Beer o'clock, right?
It is beer o'clock.
Yeah. Right. Okay. See you all in the next video, maybe, or maybe we continue after this. I don't know. See you in a bit. Bye bye.